Hello guys, welcome to Ofoy TV. Thank you for stopping by my channel to watch my videos. If you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button so that you'll be alerted whenever I drop a new video. But if you've been coming here and you have never subscribed, please click the subscribe button. All you have to do is just sign in whilst you're on YouTube with your Gmail login information and then click on the subscribe button. That's all so that you'll be officially part of the Ofoy TV family. Thank you so much for doing this. Guys, this is a continuation of the DS260 series. Today, we are going to talk about the family section of the DS260. Guys, if you haven't watched any of the DS260 videos that I've made so far, take some time and go and watch them because the DS260 is a very comprehensive and it's a little bit time consuming, forms that you need to fill as a DV lottery winner. But I have broken them down into series so that I can, just focus on portions so that if you have, difficulties or challenges when you're filling your DS260 and it is just a specific point, you can just find a video that addresses that specific situation and then so that you don't have to watch like an hour-long video, all right? So without much ado, I'll just go straight to the point. On the DS260, when you get to the family section of the DS260, remember, you will have to provide information about your parents, your spouses, and then your children. So now let's go to your parents, okay? All right. The first question that you're going to answer here will be like your father. You're going to list your father if you know who your father is, right? Remember, if you don't know who your father is, you can select the do not know. If you don't know their name, you don't know their date of birth, you don't know anything about your father, you can say you do not know, okay? And then if you don't know whether your father is alive or dead. If you don't know that they are dead, then don't say that they are dead, right? Like here it says, is your father living? Is he still living? Or, if you are not aware whether he's dead or alive, don't go and say, right? Don't give the wrong answer, If you don't know the address, you can say you don't know the address, you don't know where they live at. It is okay to say you don't know if that is the right information. Please know that if you are adopted, you have been adopted, then you give the information about your adoptive parents, not your biological parents. So if you are somebody, if you were not adopted, you have biological parents, then you use biological parents. So you need to provide that information, the city that your father was born in, if you know it, the region or the state or the province your father was born in, you provide it, you provide their country, and you provide their current address, okay? The current address, you provide that information, all of that here, right? The next one is your mother. Okay, your mother is whether it is your, your biological mom or your adoptive mom. Mother, you need to give your mother's surname at birth, right? Your mother's surname at birth. So that will be your mother's maiden name. So before your mother got married, what was the name she was using? You need to give that name, that surname here, that surname, that last name here. And then you give her given names, right? If you know it. You give her date of birth. If you don't know, you check you do not know. You give the city or the town that your mother was born in. Please make sure you're not making mistakes. If you don't know, you can say you don't know, okay? You give the state, the province, or the region that your mother was born in. Provide that information. Provide the country that your mother was born if you know it, okay? You are providing this to the best of your ability. Is your mother still living? Yes or no? If you know your mother is alive, you say yes. If your mother is dead, you say no. When you say no, it would ask you, when did your mother die? Okay, you have to tell them. The next question is your mother's address the same as your father's? They just want to know. So if your mother's address is the same as your father's, basically your mother and your father are still living together, they are married or they are living together, cohabitation, whatever that is, then you say yes. When you say yes, then it will not ask you to put your mother's address. But if you say no, it will ask you to put your mother's address. All right. Now let's go on to the next one. Okay. Okay. Now, the next portion is information about your spouse. Your spouse, okay? So they are going to ask you the surname of your spouse. You have to use the current name of your spouse, the name that is inside his or her passport, okay? And then given names, you give the given names just like it is indicated in their passport, all right? The next portion is the date of birth. You have to give the date of birth of your spouse. You have to give the place of birth, right? The town or the city or the village that they were born in. You have to give that if you know. If you don't know it, if they themselves don't know it, then you check do not know. You need to give the state or the province or the region that place is located, especially if you stated that you know, okay? Right? You have to select the country that they were born, okay? When they ask for your spouse's address, here there's an option that the address is the same as where you live at. If let's say you are in another country and your wife is or your husband is in another country, then in the drop down you have the option to select and give select and indicate that the address is different from yours, and then you provide that address, all right? The next aspect here is occupation. So they have several options for occupation. You have to look at the one that is closest to your spouse's occupation. Closest to the, because sometimes your exact job might not be in here. So you have to look at the one that is closest, okay? The occupation, if you look through and you don't find your own and you choose other, right? You need to explain what other mean, right? So if you choose other, and let's say your wife is a hairdresser, but you look in the thing, you couldn't find it, then you can put here hairdresser, okay? The next one is date and place of marriage, okay? So please give the information that is on your marriage certificate here. Give the date that is on your marriage certificate, and then the city where the marriage took place, okay? So if on your marriage certificate they wrote that the marriage took place in Accra, you let it be there. If on your marriage certificate it says the marriage took place in Nairobi, Kenya, and Nairobi, you go ahead and let Nairobi there. Monrovia, you let that be there, okay? In Yaoundé, Douala, you let that be there, all right? You put that there. And then the state/province or region, you have to give that, okay? And then you select the country. See this portion here. They ask you, is your spouse immigrating to the US with you? They want to know if you are going with that person, okay? So you, the winner, they're asking, is this person going with you? You have to say yes or no. Remember, you, the beneficiary, cannot go and leave the main winner, okay? The main winner must go also, okay? So if your wife, let's say your wife, you're like, okay, let me go alone. Then you will say, no, they are not coming with me. But then here they're asking, is your spouse immigrating to the US at a later date to join you? You can say yes, right? So they are saying that now, with this DV lottery, is your spouse going with you? If you know you are not going together, you say no. If you're going together, you say yes. If you say yes, it will not ask you this question. That will the person join you at a later date? The next option is previous spouse, okay? When they talk about previous spouse, it includes your spouses that have died, the ones that are still alive, okay? So if you're somebody who has been married before, you need to say yes. If you have not been married, you will say no. So here, this person was asked, have you been married before? Do you have previous spouse? They said no. If you say no, then you go to the next question. Now, if you say yes, okay, if you say yes, that you have had previous husbands, previous ex-husband, ex-wives, those things, then here they will ask you, how many have you had? Have you had two? Have you had three? So you put that here, and then you put their name here. You put their date of birth, you put the date of the marriage, the day that the marriage ended, all right? And then when they ask, how was the marriage terminated, you select out of the option, right? So whatever the reason is, you type the reason. Make it simple. Don't go to, if the drop down has divorce, you say divorce. If the drop down has the person is deceased, you put deceased. If you choose other, maybe it was it annulment, right? Was the marriage annulled? Did the person abandon the marriage? You know, whatever option is here, you said. And they said country or region where the marriage termination, took place. Okay, you have to select that. So those who have multiple, ex-wives or ex-husbands, then you will click add another so that you can add the next one. Okay, so that you can add the next one. So the next item is information about children. Information about children. So they ask you, do you have any children? All right. Do you have any children? So please make sure that you include your children who are under the age of 21. Okay. You need to add the children under the age of 21, okay? Your children, your stepchildren, all of that, you must provide them here, okay? So if you say that you have children, it is going to ask you how many children. You need to list your natural children, which are your biological children, okay? It doesn't matter whether you're married to their mom or you're not. And then your adopted children, your stepchildren, all of them, okay? All of them, you must indicate them here, okay? So here you will start with child number one. You give their surname, their given names, their date of birth, the city or the town they were born in, the region or the state or the province they were born in, the country. If you don't know those, you put you don't know, right? And he said, does the child live with you? If you say yes. Is the child immigrating with you? You say yes. If the child is not going with you, you can say no. If the child does not live with you, you can say, no, they don't live with me. And then it might ask you to provide where that child lives at, okay? And then you click add another to add another child, right? Remember, if you put 3 kids here, you are not just going to fill for one child, you have to fill for all of them. So here, if you say that the child is not immigrating with you, the child is not going with you, the next question will be, will the child join you later? So those of you who are going to say no, it is best you say here, you say yes on this one, right? Is the child going to immigrate with you later? Okay. If you have that, because remember, you are allowed to bring your stepchildren, you are allowed to bring your adopted children, you are allowed to bring your natural born children. So if that opportunity is there, why deny the child that opportunity? Okay. So you can do that then. So you can provide that information. And guys, this is the conclusion of that portion of, providing information about your family. Guys, remember this video is going to be made in Chi. So those of you who are three speakers, you can go and watch the video on my YouTube channel, wofoitv.gh page. Follow me on Facebook, Wofoi TV, and then follow the Wofoi TV.gh page on Facebook also. Well, guys, thank you so much for sticking around and watching this video. The next one, we'll talk about US travel. All right. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching this video. Please make sure you are subscribed. Share this video, share. The other topics, I've talked about them in other videos. If you haven't seen them, go and watch them. So see you next time when we continue with this DS260 series. I love you guys. God be with you. Bye-bye.